On the right side, we have an upper lobe, a middle lobe, and a lower lobe. On the left side, we have an upper lobe and a lower lobe. On the right side, we have the trachea, and then we have the bronchi. The bronchi, we have 3 bronchi that go into each lobe. On the left side, we have 2 bronchi, but the upper one divides right away. So it gives us 3 areas, but not 3 lobes. The lobes of the lung are such that you have the upper one, then the middle one overlaps it in the back, but you see it. And then the lower lobe overlaps most of the middle lobe. You only see a little bit of it when you look at the front. So the red, the blue, the red, and the green are about the same size. Even though one is a division within the lobe itself, and one is a separate lobe. When you look at the back, you can see how the lower lobe covers most of the middle lobe. The upper lobes, between the upper and the middle on the right side, there can develop adhesions. On the other hand, there's movement, and the movement will eliminate the adhesions. Adhesion just means there's no movement, but it's living tissue. On both sides, between the middle section, let's say the middle lobe on the right, and the lower part of the upper lobe on the left, there's movement. So between the middle and the back, there's movement. The back being, the lower lobe is the posterior lobe, and the upper lobe is the anterior lobe. So we could look either way: anterior, upper, middle, posterior, lower. The difference arises that on the left side, between the middle and the upper, it's increasing elasticity on the left. This rebound and vitality in the lung, where on the right side, it has more to do with actual movement between the lobes. Yeah.
I also read that in some dissections, some portion of the population actually does have 3 separate lobes on the left.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that. Thank you. Also, when I was teaching in Taiwan, a woman who was radiologist from Hong Kong said that when she reads the x-rays for the lungs, she reads them like this in 3 sections, which I found great to know that what we experience in movement is also just another affirmation that we know ourselves. So I didn't know that, because I know I feel a lot of movement between the upper and middle portion here. So I just explain it as that must be elasticity. It feels so similar, maybe I'm like this. Though I feel it on other people too. Interesting. So if you'll put one hand in either side, because I'm going to say upper, middle, lower, rather than defining the lobes. So place one hand over the whole shoulder part, if you can, otherwise where you can, like I have to do. And close your eyes. And there's a key principle here. There are 2 ways, maybe more, that you could do this. One is with your brain, your frontal lobe. You could send a breath into the upper lobe. That's not what I'm suggesting, except do it so you know what I'm talking about. The other one is where your lung tissue is informing your brain. So it's more lung cell to brain, which would be the back of your brain. Where if you go brain directing to cell, you'll come through the front of your brain. So that might be something you want to distinguish so that you don't have to say, what did Bonnie say? You say, what do I feel myself? But in the nervous system, information comes into the back and goes out through the front. Again, not crossing over, and as much as you can, same hand, same lung. Yeah, to really be, I don't know if you have your arm, yeah, to be over your lung.
In a previous class, you described it as letting the cells call for air. Letting the cells call for air.
Let the cells call
That's a
for
beautiful
air.
image that I have used. So they're calling the air.
And for someone who does this as a practice, I suggest lying down is really nice as well. And then once your hand is there a few minutes, you don't need to keep it there. I'd like to say something about that. Because we have so much awareness to pick up things with our hands, we can do a lot with our hands, but they're so sensitive. So that when we place our hands, it helps our brain find what we're looking for. And because we're not so aware of the lungs, perhaps, unless that's a practice, the hand gets us into the ballpark. But then our brain is still going to register more the hand than the lung. It's going to rely on the hand. So to take your hand away so that you have a direct connection, it's not going to